Hello, and welcome to NCAD's Portfolio Workshop. My name is David Joyce, and I am a tutor in first year art and design. I'm going to give you a short talk on putting together a portfolio for the 2021 submission. So I am going to present my screen and take you through a short presentation that I put together. So, as I said, what I'm going to cover in this talk is some information that goes alongside the portfolio guide that's available on the NCAD website, and also talk a bit about the digital submission that will be required for next year. First year studies at NCAD gives you a solid foundation that you require for entry into the variety of creative pathways of study offered by NCAD. First year studies is a common entry course that leads our students onto studying fine art, design, product, or education, for example. On entry to NCAD, no matter what pathway you are registered on, you will be instantly immersed in an exciting and unique interdisciplinary program, where art and design students work side by side and together to explore and to discover the wide range of pathways open to them. These are the pathways that are open. For example, you have education and fine art and design, graphic design, moving image design, textiles, jewelry and objects, product design, fine art, interaction design, and fashion design, as well as first year common entry. In relation to the portfolio that you're going to submit, your portfolio is the visual result of a personal journey, an exploration of the world around you. It involves investigation, observation, research, ideas, testing, exploration of the material and method, and finally, a developed idea. Your portfolio is an important part of your application for an undergraduate place at NCAD. You will need to submit a portfolio for every undergraduate course, with the exception of the BA in Visual Culture, which does not require a portfolio. NCAD has put together a comprehensive portfolio guidelines document which is available to you. This document outlines the processes and the way to put together a portfolio for your submission. There's nothing mysterious about creating a portfolio. It involves time, creativity, dedication, and lots of hard work. So I'm going to take you through some of the information that's in the document. You can read this at your leisure. And I'm not going to go into any real detail around this. But what is a portfolio? It all starts with an idea. A portfolio is a collection of art and or design that you have created yourself. It is an opportunity for you to showcase your ideas, your skills, and your creativity. We want to see how your imagination can generate a rich and visually interesting body of work. Building a portfolio will demonstrate your commitment to working through a process, from initial ideas and observations right through to thoughtfully researched and developed work. But a very important point in relation to developed work, we want to see more than your finished work. We want to see your process. We want to see your notebooks, your worksheets, sketch pads, etc. So what do you include? Well, you can work to your strengths. You should work to your strengths. If you can draw or paint or sew or sculpt, mold, carve, photograph, film, create, imagine, explore, or turn the ordinary into something special, show us. Be creative and excite us with your work. Include recent or current work. Your portfolio is a reflection of how you think and how you work now. Work completed within the last 2 years is relevant, whether undertaken independently or as part of projects for school leaving or further education assessments. As I've mentioned, your notebooks give us an insight into how you think. It is where you visually record ideas, thoughts, and notions that occur when immersed in the creative process. Notebooks are not perfect. Use them to show us the problems and inventive solutions you encounter along your creative journey. And how is the portfolio assessed? Creative inquiry and visual research. Begin with gatherings, collections. Shows how you observe the world around you. Visually describe, explain, record, and invent through real-life observation. Idea development and material technical exploration. Develop your ideas beyond the known or purely observed. Be playful, imaginative, experimental, and inventive. We want to see how your research can produce new creative outcomes. Critical judgment, selection, and resolution. Identify which ideas have the most potential. Take at least one of your creative proposals and develop it thoroughly to a level of completion. Show how your creative outcomes and solutions have evolved as part of your research process. Some things to consider. Use primary sources. Show us you can make direct observations using a variety of media and drawing processes. Experiment with line, tone, color, form, and surface. Don't be afraid to mix things up. Your research should be visually rich, well considered, and show thorough exploration of ideas using a variety of material and processes. Who or what inspires you? Use your notebooks to show an awareness of developments within the creative industries as well as an interest in individual artists, art movements, and/or designers. And be brave. The portfolio journey can be a lonely one. Seek out a support network and look to family, friends, and teachers for suggestions and opinions as you work. Think of the narrative of your portfolio and how it is composed. Organize your work sequentially to show the links between your observations, research, and creative outcomes. Let your work speak for itself. Present your work so that your work is visibly accessible, usually between 10 and 20 A1 or A2 or A3 sheets, as well as one notebook, forms the content of a normal portfolio. I've mentioned being brave. We also want you to be playful and curious and to experiment. It's hugely important. One point about completion or developing ideas is that we're not looking, there's no such thing as a finished piece. You could argue that something is never finished. Your portfolio represents who you are now, as well as who you may become as an art or design student, and later as an artist or designer. Similar to any good story, it naturally has a beginning, which is research and observation, a middle, the development of that research and observation, and an end, which are visual conclusions, which are distinct from finished pieces. Visual conclusions develop the research and the development of the research. This is your visual story, and you have the creative freedom to tell it in your way. There's nothing mysterious about creating a portfolio. As I mentioned, it takes time, creativity, dedication, and more importantly, lots of hard work. So if you're working on an idea and it takes you to another idea, then go with that. Have fun. And show us your passion. It should reflect who you are as a person, as an artist, and it should challenge you, and in turn, it should challenge us. It should make you think about how things are made, about how materials that are used in making, about how you would do something differently, and about how you interact with the world around you. It's your portfolio. Nobody else has any input. It's your work, your way. As I've mentioned, be curious, experimental, and playful. We want to see how the way you think visually. Include your sketchbooks and your notebooks. Don't be intimidated by other people's work that you may see as demonstrations on the NCAD website, for example. And really importantly, don't be put off applying because you don't think your portfolio is good enough or you haven't got it finished. For more information, generally about how to put together a portfolio, there is lots of information on the NCAD website, and specifically in relation to this portfolio workshop. Information on how to begin working on your portfolio, how to prepare your portfolio for various study pathways, sample portfolios that I've just mentioned from current NCAD students, and guidelines on how to submit your portfolio. Normally what happens is that students drop in their portfolios, the physical portfolios, into NCAD, and we gather them in a room and we go through every single one. That's in a normal situation, but unfortunately we're not in a normal situation, and this requires that the portfolio work for 2021 is a digital submission. And it will be 100% digital. This means that you will need to scan, photograph, or film your work and upload it to the NCAD website via our portfolio submission platform. An online submission process does not change what we are asking of you in terms of how you develop your work, the processes you use, and how you document that process, including the use of worksheets and notebooks, which is mentioned in our portfolio guide. However, you will need to document your work digitally through scanning, photography, and film. So what will you need? Well, you can use a smartphone camera to document, photograph, or video your work. And please use the best quality smartphone camera that's available to you. You may need to borrow one, or you may have access to a camera. And how do you document your work? You will need to document all of your sheets separately as image files or as PDFs. You can document your notebook as a set of images in a PDF. Alternatively, you can video your notebook by recording your work as you turn the pages. Remember, whatever format you choose to document your work, the most important factor is that your work is clear and easily legible. This is an example of a photograph of a booklet that's been photographed using a smartphone. And equally on the right-hand side, it's a three-dimensional piece that has been photographed using a smartphone as well. So this is entirely achievable. It doesn't require a huge amount of technical expertise or effort. Other considerations: remove your work from any plastic or other folders that will obscure detail. Place your work flat on a large surface and include the entire sheet in the frame. This can be worksheets or drawings or paintings, or obviously three-dimensional pieces can be placed in good light and photographed. Aim to document your work in good daylight or under a strong artificial light. Make sure there are no shadows over your work. So when can you start to submit your digital portfolio? As I mentioned, the portfolio submission platform that has been designed by NCAD will be open from mid-January right up until the closing date, allowing you to submit your work at your own pace. You will be able to save your progress and return to review and edit as many times as you like up until the deadline of midnight on Friday, the 5th of February. You should factor in plenty of time to document your work. You should also factor in time to register with us and upload your work to the portfolio submission platform. The deadline for submission, as I've mentioned, is midnight on Friday, the 5th of February. For further help or information, you can contact admissions at admissions@ncad.ie. Here at NCAD, we have developed a comprehensive portfolio program to ensure that you have access to the best information and guidance at every stage of your portfolio journey. Thank you, and I want to wish you all the very best of luck in your submissions, and hopefully I'll see you in 2021. Goodbye.